Hold on. All right, guys. Today I'm gonna be doing a little something different. I'm gonna be doing a D&D type thing, and I'm here with
There we
Bobby.
are.
You're up.
Hello, folks. I am Funko Bob. If you have seen any of Max's other broadcasts, you may have seen my name around. I'm the goofy older man who tries to wrangle all these kids in and keep them from misbehaving. Wish me luck on that.
All
About to
right,
get a
you're up.
about to get a cease and
Hunter,
desist.
you're up.
Yo, what's up? My name is Kono Dioda or just Dio. I don't care. I'm playing a small character. He's called a chronicler. He's here for knowledge. That's it.
And Hunt, you're
Yes,
up.
basically a type of wizard, essentially.
Yes.
Hunt, you're up.
Hello, I am Hunter. I am playing a Void Ninja.
Well, right now your ninja is you're just a ninja because
All
we're doing
right.
the previous story.
How gamer of
Okay,
us,
for
Before
everybody
bro.
we,
who's watching.
I
Okay,
don't
may
think
I just say
I
one
need
thing
an
real quick?
introduction. Give me 1 second. I don't think I need an introduction because you clicked on the Mad Ghouls video.
But you need to
So
introduce your character. Who's your character, my guy?
I think his name's Karat. Is that right?
It's carrot,
Carrot.
and everybody
Oh,
mispronounces it
Kakarot.
carrot.
All right, now everyone is in full screen, so you
Bruh.
can all
Bruh.
wave if you need.
Bruh. I can't believe you, bro.
All right,
Honestly,
now
I'm pretty sure everyone except for Hunter has been on one of my videos. I'm pretty sure Funko Bob has, and I'm pretty sure Dio has.
I've been in the background a couple of times. Yes.
And Dio was the center of a whole video before.
Yo, what's up? I forgot. Sorry, I'm dropping out, having a moment in the background.
All right,
It's fun. Now,
let's start this, boys.
okay.
My
Well, in that
wait.
case, I need to set the stage for the people who just decided to join
Yes.
this broadcast. Unfortunately, we are currently testing out a new D&D style of a role playing system that I am developing. It is largely based on D&D. I have my own particular mythology, so a lot of the creatures don't follow traditional D&D rules. And we are developing certain aspects of that as we are going along. The current story that we have right now is Max's character is a monk style fighter.
Just in case you don't know, my real name is Max, aka Mad Ghouls.
Bro,
My
don't
apologies.
leak
My
that.
apologies,
Well,
Lord
he
Ghoul.
said it 50
Holy shit.
times already.
Don't
That's
leak
Also,
why I
my
said the
everyone
code
said
name.
my name
don't leak my
over.
name, bro. If somebody
I
leaks my name, I'm strangling you.
Also, just so you know,
Uh,
Dio, your thing says when I have you saved as in my phone.
Bruh.
yeah, your name is literally written on the screen right
It
now,
says
so everybody
winner.
knows your.
Delete that.
It, it
Edit
doesn't
that
say
out.
that on
Edit that
my
out,
Dio,
bro.
screen.
I
It doesn't say
can't.
that on my screen. So okay, good.
Feels
So
bad.
okay, back to the story. So as I was saying, Ghoul's character, who's named Carrot, essentially is based off of a Dragon Ball Z character. So that's the kind of activities and
I
things that you can
mean,
kind of be expecting him to do. So,
the
and
last 3 videos I posted have been Dokkan, and I'm wearing a Dragon Ball shirt, and I have Dragon
yeah,
Ball
so we know it.
posters.
That's what we
Yes,
call a weeb.
you wear your love of your anime on your shirt.
I have a
So
My
do
Hero
I.
Now,
shirt in my drawer.
That's banished. My Hero Academia fandom is toxic.
Mm.
True.
Continue.
I know because I've dated a My Hero Academia freak.
I already forgot. What's the code name for our fourth member here? We got Dio,
Dio.
Yo,
we got
go on,
Ghoul,
do that.
we got Funko Bob. I don't remember this
He
kid's
just
name.
calls him.
Hey man, let's just call him Hunter. L. You don't get a cool name like me, Dio. Uh oh. Sorry.
Oh, we could do this. We could do this poetically. If you're Dio, he's Diablo.
Okay,
Oh, dude, absolutely.
I feel like the viewers are ready for some action.
Okay,
There's
so
no action here.
all
Only
right. So
story.
the current situation is thus: Ghoul's character and Diablo. I'm just gonna call him that for now. His character, Diablo's character, is basically a Naruto-esque ninja, just for reference. They were assigned a task to locate some villagers that had started going missing in one of the nearby villages. Upon arriving in the village, they attempted to squeeze information from a literal rat being, which in this world is what I call a wildling. And they scared the crap out of this dude so much he ran out of the bar. Luckily, the bartender, a very gruff but somewhat considerate giant of a man, I believe I described him as Hagrid from Harry Potter, he informed the two party members that some people have been found wandering into the woods towards the nearby mountain late at night. Following the trail that they discovered, they found the entrance to a cave where they were greeted by a couple of skeleton warriors, which they dispatched fairly quickly. But then as they moved further into the cave, they discovered a stone temple of some sort, which seemed like it had been built into the cave. And their last encounter involved a couple of armed, I'm going to say ogre-esque. They weren't able to identify the bodies because they burned them to cinders with their last two attacks. But unfortunately, that final attack left Ghoul's character completely drained of energy, and he fainted. So,
Completely passed out.
yeah. So he's still a young character, and he overexerted his ki, and he temporarily knocked himself out. So that is where we are currently in the story. There are two charred remains.
You forgot to list out the fact that the cave, you could hear it start to crumble.
Oh yes, that is correct. Due to the a massive amount of energy that they had outputted in trying to defeat the enemies, they did weaken the structure of the cave, and there is some low-level rumblings going on. So I'd say first things first, Hunter. You don't have any of your die, so I'll roll for you. What action do you want to take, Hunter? Because yeah, Hunter. I'm forget it. I'm gonna keep saying it, so I'm gonna say
It's
it.
fine.
So yeah, Carrot's knocked out. What are you gonna do? You do have a, just so you know, you do have a jug of drinking water. It's what they call a water skin. So if you want to just like dump a little bit of water on him and try and wake him up, that could work. Or you could just slap him across the face.
I think, I'll just slap him.
Slap him. Okay. Rolling to hit. Dude's unconscious, so obviously you're gonna hit him. So I'll say you did 2 points of damage, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll for max. See, I have to do this because I have the set of dice, and the only other person here who has one is Dio, and well, you do too, technically, don't you, Max?
I have Ghoul, but I have a. You could call me Matt if you wanted. It's my name, but one letter difference. But I have a few. I have two 20-sided in my
Well, do you
living
want to do
room.
your roll? My point is, do you want to do your own rolls?
I'm fine. I don't know where they are.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll for you. If you roll 10 or higher, you're gonna wake up. Nat 20. You like straight up open your eyes and like, what was that for?
Just so you guys
All
know, this hold on, I'm gonna full screen. This may be a little like not rough, but like not as good tech wise, because this is my first time ever doing something like this. Like,
This whole thing is rough, Max. That's the point of it.
I know, I'm
we're,
just
we're
saying.
smoothing out the wrinkles. We need to figure out what our issues are here.
Exactly. So like, just so you guys aren't like, man, this is horrible. You guys stink. This is our first time ever doing anything like this. My only videos I've posted are videos of me playing random video games by myself. I've made one collab, or two, maybe. Other than that, I haven't done much like this. You can continue talking, Bob.
Okay. So, I'm just assuming actions at this point. Hunter's character helps Carrot back to his feet. He kind of shakes the cobwebs out of his head a little bit. He seems to be fine, but I will say you will be running at disadvantage anytime you try to use a key-based attack.
Well, yeah, because I wasted all my energy on the attack.
Yeah, maybe that could be a lesson learned for you.
Yeah.
So you finally coming to your senses. The sounds of the cave is trying to settle in, and the cracks are starting to form along the walls. So you both realize you might want to hurry up here. You have the entrance you came in from, which is relatively behind you. 20 feet ahead to your right is the entrance into the actual temple. And as you can tell, there is a light source inside the temple, and one of the last noises you heard out of that was a woman screaming.
Yeah.
So, do you wish to enter the temple?
Yes. I don't know about
Yeah.
Hunter, but yes.
Hunter.
Hunter, you said that too quiet. They didn't hear you.
Yeah, I will enter.
All right. So, as you two slowly, I'm going to go ahead and stealth at this point for you. 19 for Max, ironically enough.
I swear, if
14
he.
for Hunter.
Okay, I was gonna say, if he gets a nat 1 and he's the stealth ninja, and I'm the fighter, and I got 19, I was about to
Yeah,
laugh.
it would have seemed a little weird, but I was doing the order or the rolls in the order. So, you both slowly you're both keeping to the edges, and you're both just kind of peeking your head around the corner. You see a almost purple skinned woman. She's about 5'10" with straight black hair. She is wearing a a purple robe, which is even darker than her skin. So this is almost blackish purple
Yeah.
robe, and she's holding a green orb in her right hand, and in her left hand, she's holding up the body of a woman, peasant woman, just for most intents and purposes, not very well dressed. As you can see, there's a green glow pouring from that body into this orb, and as that glow emanates out of her, her body shrivels, and all this muscle and the skin just tightens around until there's nothing left of this woman but a skeleton,
So
and of course her
basically,
bones.
just everything.
It sucked the very life essence out of this woman, and it is now in this crystal. And then you watch as the dark-skinned woman, which you have no idea. You can, either one of you wants, you can try to run an intelligence check to see, or a perception check to determine what this creature is.
I'm gonna roll a perception.
All right, rolling for Hunter's character.
I feel like my character is
Can I
too
have an
dumb to
advantage?
realize.
Can I have an advantage? I've lived there for a long time.
No, no, no. You're mistaking your future character, Hunter. Remember, this is the
Oh, we're
earliest
still
story.
okay. Yep, we're
So
early. Yep, I
you're
forgot.
both still rookies at this point.
Is
You
this
both just
like a
graduated from the
way
academy.
to interpret me into their story? Like this is the past?
This, yeah, as far as, yeah, this is Hunter's origin story in that regard. What happens in him in the other story that we have set, which I know our new viewers are probably confused as heck on that. We'll have to explain that later.
They, Dio and Hunter have their own story before I joined the. I obviously knew everyone, but before I joined the little group of D&D stuff,
Think of this as a
I
prequel.
yeah,
Yes,
basically this is before Dio and Hunter's story.
yes, and we'll talk about that specific story later when we start doing those. So, but for now, back to the role that Hunter made. She appears elvish almost. You can tell by she has a point to her ears, which is similar to elves, but this is a type of elf you've never seen before. She's not a elf of the woods or an elf of the forest like your character is, Hunter. So
Technically, not anymore, actually.
what?
But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Okay, if you don't want to talk about that. So now I'm gonna roll a perception for her character real quick.
This may turn into my longest video ever.
Well, hopefully we'll be doing this in an hour because this whole thing is essentially down to one last confrontation here.
Yeah.
After the corpse in her left hand is completely sucked out of life, you see her laid up against the wall, and you see there are other bodies, nearly at least half a dozen other bodies, completely drained of life, that are leaning up against this wall. And then you notice that she takes this crystal that she had in her hand, and she puts it inside the rib cage of the corpse she just created, and you can see just it starts
So
pulsing with energy.
is that how she created the skeletons that we killed at the beginning?
You don't know that. You can suspect that, but you don't really know that.
I'm just assuming that's how she created, because I'm just assuming that's how she created the skeletons.
Yeah. Yes, and at this point, this is going to be a drama moment, so I'm just going to make a character who's like, yes, yes, my brood is growing. I'll need to acquire more vessels for my children.
Children, oh lord. Has she noticed us yet?
Did you say that out loud?
No, I said that in my head.
Okay.
Off the record. Off the
Well,
record. Didn't say it out loud.
no, she has not heard you yet. Your stealth
Oh.
rolls outweighed her.
All
Her
right, I
perception roll.
forgot.
There is one more thing I failed to mention here, though, is that there is a large number of spider webs all throughout this temple. It's like it seems like half the pillars have spider webs just in between them. The floor is actually covered with a layer of spider webbing and all that. Now, where you guys are at so far at the entrance to the temple, you have not encountered the web.
Mm.
So there is a large fire pit. In a sense, it's not a cauldron per se. It's just literally, well, you know those like domes that people have, and they put wood in for burning wood for getting rid
A
of that
fire
stuff. So
pit?
it's just essentially, yeah, essentially it's just a metal fire pit.
I have one of those.
Oh yes, you do. I haven't seen it though, but anyways, so she motions towards the fire pit, and she starts chanting in a language that neither one of you are familiar with. I will give Hunter, if you guys would like to try and make a perception roll to understand this language, Hunter can do this with advantage because he is an elf. But
I'd
Max
feel
will
like
not have.
Perception roll.
because
Yep,
Hunter has
perception.
the advantage, I'll let him do it.
Okay, so Hunter is going to try and decipher. Hunter, your character can't determine all of the words, but there are. It does sound like it is based in the Elvish language that you are familiar with. Um, the only two words that you are able to discern is the word pray and the word summons. So you believe that this spell or whatever she's casting is a means to bring more people to her little hideout for her to consume. And as she's waving her right hand over the flames, she turns the palm up, and part of the fire moves into her hand and glows bright white. And it turns into a tiny little point. The same sort of will-o-wisp that led you guys into this cave in the first place. And as she raises it up into the air, the will-o-wisp begins to rise. Now, I'm going to go ahead and roll a stealth for you both, because this thing is an all-seeing creature. So Max first. Max, you were smart enough to duck your head around the corner, as was Hunter. Very good. So this will-o'-the-wisp flies up, and it flies right past you guys, and you see it flying towards the edge of the cave. I'm going to roll something real quick for fate. The rumbling of the cave starts to get a little louder. At this point, even the woman turns up and starts looking around, and she's like, I may not be able to stay in this temple for much longer.
Mm.
And she'll have to make use of what I have for the time being. And she stops speaking at this point. It seems more of this is going into an internal dialogue in her head. She moves over towards the statue, or towards the skeletons, and again she starts speaking in that language that, like I said, you don't understand. Again, the word "rise" pops up, and that's the only part of that Hunter can understand. But as you're watching this, the skeletons each begin to stand up. And like I said, there's about half a dozen of them.
Max
And
called
as they
it.
begin to stand up, and she was like, we shall have to find a new home now, my children. Follow me. And she begins to actually start walking towards the exit, which you two are presently at. So I will give you guys the advantage here if you want to do a surprise round of attack,
I
or
have.
if you choose to just get out of her way and let her pass.
I personally, my character, I feel like would want to attack because he's more like attack hungry. So I feel like he'd try to pull out a big punch to the elvish purple lady.
And then
All right.
I would predict that he would do that, so I would be back up to his punch.
All right. So as the dark-skinned lady begins slowly marching towards the entrance, you decide to run in for a sneak attack and try to punch her in the face, and you get an 11. Unfortunately, the moment you step onto the webbing, your foot is stuck.
I should have thought about that.
Yes, and there you are now, standing just right in the middle of this the entrance to this temple. You've given up your surprise advantage. Hunter technically has not yet, though. She sees you and she goes, "Fiend!" She points her finger at you, and dozens of spiders. And when I mean spiders, I don't mean little ones. I mean as big as my hand tarantulas. Start coming out of seemingly nowhere within the web and begin to start crawling up your leg.
Um, I'm gonna try to vanish away because I know I have a disadvantage on key, but I still have a little chance to vanish.
All right. It will be with disadvantage because you are technically tied to the thing. Okay. You rolled in that one. I'm not
Double
kidding.
disadvantage.
So your attempt to vanish, you put your other foot down, and now both your feet are stuck in this web, and you've got creepy crawly spiders just crawling up all over you.
Can I just keep trying
Hunter,
to? Oh, I forgot ease.
well, if Hunter would like to make a move, he can make a move now.
I'm going to stay stealth.
You're gonna just stay in there, not
Just
reveal your presence. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So these tarantulas are crawling up your body, and as they are doing so, they are winding around you, and essentially now your lower half of your body, from your at least to your knees down and getting close to your waist, is completely cocooned in webbing now. So you cannot move at this point.
can I still move my arms?
Yes, you are capable of using your arms at this point, but your legs are quickly becoming incapacitated, and they are crawling further and further up of you,
I'm
or up your
gonna
body.
try my hardest to like punch a bunch of them off
All
my
right.
legs and try like
12. Kind of a wild flailing motion, but you are managing to knock enough of them off to where they're not crawling up you any further,
can
but
I
your legs are still more and more, your legs are becoming more and more encased.
can I speak to people telepathically?
No.
Hold on.
Is that Poir? Is that your
Yeah,
icon now,
So
Hunter? Is Poir?
I cannot
yeah.
speak to people telepathically is what you said?
Yeah, you're not a telepath. Why would you be able to speak to people
I
telepathically?
didn't know if I could like I don't
Why?
know.
Why would you? No offense. Why would you assume your character could do that?
I don't know. I don't know how he
Well, there you
trained
go.
before I
There you go.
played.
So you know you can't speak telepathically.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to shout, "Slice me
It's more
open!"
of a magic move.
What do you say, Max?
I'm gonna try to shout, "Slice me open!" like to tell Hunter to slice the webs open.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna rat
Like,
me out.
No, you don't. They don't
hold on,
realize.
hold on. Well, here's the funny thing, Max. Your very specific choice of words. You said "slice me open." The dark skinned elf woman comes to you. She's like, "I think that's a fabulous idea," and she pulls out basically the knife that I just showed you. She pulls that out, and she's like, "Yes, you will make a fine vessel for my children." And she's
How?
walking towards you, and she's about to stab you. Once
I
again,
will
Hunter, I'll give you
intervene,
one last
and
chance to make a move to tax him.
I'm going to throw my rope dart directed at her face as hard as I can.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give you advantage because you have a surprise round. 19. Okay. I fudge a little, not very much. After all, if I didn't fudge some of these rolls, we'd all be dead. So yes, with the advantage of surprise, Hunter's character comes bursting out behind Max, shoots his blade, and it doesn't dig into her face. Unfortunately, you can't target that well, but you do manage to get her right here into the shoulder, and a dagger, I believe, is an 8 for 8 damage, max damage. You buried this thing deep into her, and as a bonus action, I will allow you to either pull her towards you if you wish to do so. Like basically like
Uh,
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Come here, kind of thing, if you wish.
yep, I'm doing it.
All right, strength check. You got a 3, and she got a 6. So she's holding onto the blade to prevent you from like pulling on her, but it's still stuck inside of her. So you guys are kind of in the midst of this tug of war. Let's see if she gets smart. Nope, she doesn't get smart. Okay.
This is the second time he's been in a tug of war match with someone in this round.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
for the viewers at
unfortunately,
home, he was in a tug of war match with one of the skeletons, the first people we fought, and I saved him from it.
yeah.
Like,
Well, unfortunately, being a ninja character, his focus is on his speed and not his strength. So for
yeah,
that, that's a strength move. So that's not necessarily a guarantee he's going to make that.
yeah.
All right. So now all the players are in. I'm going to go ahead and say combat has officially begun. So I'm going to roll first for Max's initiative. Initiative. That's the word I'm looking for. Max rolled a 4 for his initiative. Hunter rolls a 13, and now I've got 7 other people to roll for. So I got the Queen 10, and I'll just kind of do mass for the zombies. 19.
Skeletons.
Well, yeah, the skeletons. The skeletons. She actually takes her. She actually lets go of the rope for a minute. She tells the skeletons to back off. So the skeletons actually retreat towards the back of the temple. And she turns around, and now it is Hunter's turn for an attack. You still have the blade stuck into her arm right now, or stuck into
I'm
her
gonna
chest.
attempt another pull.
Gonna try another pull. All right. 15. That's your strength test against hers. 2. Okay. You use the fact that she's distracted to summon her zombies away, and you manage to actually pull her as she is flying towards Max right now. So this woman is coming at you like 20 miles an hour. So Max, you can now have an attack with advantage because she is literally being thrown into you.
I know I don't have a. I have a disadvantage on key, but wouldn't it balance it out since I have advantage?
Well, what do you want? It depends. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try to fire a key cannon at her.
Key cannon?
Yeah,
Okay.
just 3
Well,
energy, not very strong.
all right. I'm gonna roll for you for your attack.
What?
14. That's not even with the advantage.
Oh,
You're nat 1 on the other one. So
oh my.
now let's see for her. She has disadvantage on her dodging on this. She got an 8. Does worse than an 8 and 11. Okay, yeah. So it's not a very strong key blast, but it is a successful key blast. So 3 8s for the key. That's 1, 6, 7. You do 14 points of damage as you basically just Kamehameha her as she's like flying into you. The resulting blast actually forces her back, but because Hunter's pulling on the blade, it pulls the blade out from her skin. So Hunter's blade returns back to its wrist mount, and she basically falls to the ground, roughly 10 feet away in front of Max. And don't forget, Max, you have a dagger.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cut myself out with that dagger. Cut myself out of the web.
All right, I will allow you to do this as your bonus action. 14. Yep, with 2 swift little strikes to the ground. You still have the webs on your legs, but you're no longer stuck to the ground, so you now have ability to move again.
Sweet. Can I regroup
All right.
back with Hunter?
I'll go ahead and allow that. Yes. So, okay. So now it's Hunter's turn again, as she is slowly picking herself back up. She's looking at you with these bright red glowing eyes. Hunter, it's your move.
Okay, I will. She's looking at me or Max.
Both of you, essentially, because you're both standing next to each other now.
Okay. I'm just gonna throw some throwing knives at her. I'm gonna throw 20 throwing knives at her.
All right. So a dance of daggers. That's what I'm calling it. 14. I'm going to see if her special attack is going to work on this. 16. As Hunter throws the daggers, they're key daggers, and they shoot out of his hand, she opens her mouth, and this mass of webbing just spreads out, straight out Spider-Man style, and all of the daggers are caught up in the web and are destroyed. So she basically did this to create a kind of web shielding, and it destroyed all the daggers and prevented her from taking any damage. You have one more action, and you still have a bonus action. So you can either move, you can attack, or you can do or technically you can do another jutsu attack.
I'm gonna charge up.
You're gonna do a key charge, okay? So I'm changing the rules on this a little bit. So basically, what a key charge is going to do now is your next key using attack automatically adds that number of key points to it. So for
Hey
a key
Hunter.
charge, I'll give you a +3 to your next key-based attack.
Don't forget, you haven't used this the whole time, and this is our 3rd battle. You have battle aura.
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
He's a ninja. Ninjas don't have battle aura. You do.
I didn't know that.
No. What he has, no, he doesn't have that because he's an elf. You're a Phagene, so that's a different thing. If he was a Phagene, he can summon animal spirit and basically give himself a battle aura, but he's not that character.
What
'Cause he's
time
just an
would you
elf.
say it is outside? Like, in the game? Like,
In
would
the
you say it's
game? Oh,
night?
this is, yeah, we are definitely deep into the night. It's probably maybe 1 o'clock in the morning now. So we are definitely in the thick of the night here.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, but can y'all call me back when this is later? Because I need to go take a shower.
Or,
So,
Go ahead. This will probably take about another 20 minutes.
yeah, y'all gonna fight this. Y'all gonna fight this monster for the next hour.
Maybe.
Peace
Depends
out,
on if they
deal.
get smart.
Peace out,
She
deal.
she
Rate the Funkos.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, wow, this is way better now.
it's
So
Hunter's turn still technically.
I just wanted to ask another question.
Okay, make it quick.
How big is the moon right now?
Okay, if you're worried about your transformation, that does not depend on the moon.
Oh, I don't know what it depends
But I
on.
will also tell you this. I will also tell you this. The cave you're in is too small for you because you are like 30 feet tall. So if you transform into your Ozaru form, you will be bigger than this cave.
Oh, I thought it was like Super Saiyan 4-esque, where I'm just turned into like a little
You
spirit
have
lizard.
not developed that far yet.
Mm.
So like I said, your creature, your race is Phagin, so you have an animal spirit, and your animal spirit is that of the great ape. So you can transform into a great ape. But like I said, you're basically turning into King Kong.
Mm.
And this cave is way too small for you to try that. Unless you want to bring the whole mountain down upon yourself. Maybe you'd survive.
Yeah,
I
no,
could
that would.
phase out of it technically.
But it's
I
also,
could
it's like I said,
technically.
Hunter's turn. What'd you say, Hunter?
I could technically phase out of it.
Like phase
Phase out
out
of
of the
what?
cave if I break it.
Yeah, we could. I could like yell to him.
Maybe. Remember, you're not the shadow ninja yet. You have some shadow moving ability, but remember, you tried to move Max just 10 feet and it was difficult for you. You can move yourself a certain amount of distance, but if you had somebody else with you, that takes up a lot more effort. And
He
this
wouldn't
cave has
have
got to
me
be at
on
least
him
a quarter mile.
because.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
this
Oh no! Here. All right, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna yell to Max. I'm gonna yell, "Go Zaru!" And then I'm teleporting as far as I can out of the cave.
okay. So you want that to be your action? Okay, so
Yep.
your free action is in to tell him to say go Zara. So now you're gonna try and shadow walk your way back out to the outside of the cave now
By myself.
by yourself. Okay. You rolled a 10. So technically, you're still inside. You're at the entrance of the cave. You're in that first hallway where you fought the skeletons. At this
Can you
point,
grab
you
my
did not
training
move
Can I
gloves
that
keep
while
far.
you're leaving?
can I
What'd you
keep
say?
running out while Max goes Zaru?
Yeah, you can do that.
You know what,
Yeah,
Hunter?
that's what
You
I
know
want
what
to
I
do.
said? I said, "Can you grab my training gloves on the way out?"
Max, I already told you we didn't do that.
I know it was a joke.
Okay. Yeah.
I
For the
just got
record,
these
for the people who
Funkos.
are watching, Max's character, like I said, heavily based off of Goku, so he got the assumption that he was always wearing training clothes that he'd have to take off in order to
Heavily based
maximize
off
his
of who?
potential, but that's not the case here.
Wait,
Put
wait,
your
that
shirt on.
that Goku's wearing the training clothes, the training wristbands.
They both are. They're also
Yeah.
wearing the shoes.
Yeah, but at this point, Goku's so strong that whatever weight that they apply to him does not matter. That's literally like you. That'd be like you, Max, putting a grain of rice to your leg and saying this is training weight. Like for Goku, it literally would have to weigh a freaking ton, and then every step he took would leave a crater in the ground. So that you don't have training gear on.
That's how he works, even when he's like powered up.
You are not. Look, as much as you like to pretend you're not Goku, remember that
I
this isn't
know,
Goku's world.
I know.
So,
I'm
all right.
gonna.
Now before Max's move, the well, I'll just be honest. She's a drow. She's a drow elf. First time you guys have
Oh,
ever
that's what I
encountered
wanted to
one.
be.
Exactly. And she gets really angry with you, Max, and she's staring at you, and you see steam starting to pour out of her mouth and this reddish glow enveloping her body as she begins to grow in size. And you see her legs start shaking as they rip apart and they reveal 4 spider legs, each
I
one
see.
15 feet long. Two more pairs of spider legs come out as her butt essentially turns into a gigantic spider's abdomen, and her own top form doubles in size. She's taking up nearly the entirety of this temple now. And I'm going to go ahead and roll for the structure of the cave here. Yes, the temple itself is actually now starting to collapse as
As
chunks
she
are
grows in
falling
size,
from the ceiling.
I follow her and start transforming into an Azuru.
All right. So I'll still have to roll for that. All right, you got a 9, so it's a slow transformation. You feel your blood boiling inside of your skin, and your eyes. You can feel the pressure building up as your eyes go bug wide, and you let out that roar of just animal power from inside of you. Your clothes begin to tear away from your body as you grow and grow and grow in size. I'm going to see something here. Yeah, the spider drow is scared because you are now, even at this point, you're still growing, but you're already larger than the temple. And as you're growing, the temple is collapsing around you. And she is looking around like crazy. And she goes, "My babies! No!" The entire now we're gonna pan back out to Hunter for a second. As Hunter evacuates the cave just in time, he hears that scream as all of a sudden the entrance to the cave completely collapses. And as he looks towards the mountain, he can actually see a whole section of the mountain just caving in on itself. But then, even as that rubble begins to falling down, all of a sudden Max, in full Ozaru form, busts out and just roars with sheer raw power.
I hate myself when I roar.
All right. So no, I
We're
gotta roll something
42
for the.
minutes into the
I gotta roll.
recording.
I gotta roll something for the Spider Queen because what you guys just did might have just yeah. As a sorry, Ghoul here. His character decided to take just one wide swipe over the rubble. You actually knock the rest of the debris off, and you can actually see
Stop
the
messing
bare
with the
spot where
filters.
you can actually see where the top of the temple was, and you can see it has completely caved in, and all that you see is a couple of spider legs, long spider. I mean, to you now they're pretty small because you're 50 freaking feet tall, and you just see twitching.
Oh my god, we killed her with
Lids.
that?
You
Well,
dropped
yeah,
a mountain on her. What do you expect? She's a spider. She doesn't have a hard shell.
here's what happened
Oh
though.
my
She thought
god.
she was amazing when she transformed, and I'm like, might as well
What, that?
follow. Ah!
You just put like Ben 10 on her?
Something like that. So yeah, congratulations. Encounter over. You killed her. Unfortunately, well, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and roll an intelligence check for Hunter real quick if he realizes this. Yeah, you guys kind of fucked up because now all the evidence and everything is buried.
Nutties!
Now, well, no, look, all the evidence of everything that happened is buried underneath the rubble.
We have
So,
this is family friendly. Family friendly. Beep.
all right. So, Max, here you are in this giant ape form. Your intelligence is slightly diminished, but not so much where you're like constantly rampaging. But you can tell your character's kind of looking around. He's just like, no more enemies. Huh. And I'm assuming you revert back to your humanoid form.
But yeah, what else am I gonna do? Just start
I
rampaging?
don't know. You might decide to climb up the mountain and just, go Chrysler building on it. I don't know. It's your character. You decide what you want to do with it. All right, you shrink back down to your regular form. You
Oh God.
You didn't think all of this through very well because remember, you when you change into your Rosaru
I'm
form, all
naked,
your
aren't I?
clothes ripped off. You're not only naked, but all your equipment got buried in the mountain with them.
Here,
I didn't
here.
have much equipment. I had a
You
dagger.
had you had a coin purse and you had a food pouch and a water skin. So those things have been lost.
Oh, I need to
All
get
right,
one of those.
Max. Regroup
Well,
with
I
me.
mean the
Regroup with me, and I'll do you a favor.
What?
Regroup with me, and then I'll give you my robe.
Okay.
yes, for modesty's sake, yes, you throw the robe, you throw your spare cloak. Technically, is what it is
Hunter,
over.
he just barely sees like my shoulder, and he just chucks his robe to the top of the mountain. I'm like, thanks. Just puts the robe on.
You haven't
Okay,
seen me
now
without my robe on before.
assuming your mission was finished, you guys decide to head back into town. At this point, by the time you make it back into town, it is just now starting to get light. Um, One of the local guards is standing out towards the outer perimeter of the village, and he sees you two walking up. He holds his spear. I was like, "State your business."
Dio, you're muted.
I
You
know
think?
I'm muted. I'm not even talking. I am
It
just
looks like
listening.
you were. We just killed Bobby. Explain what just happened to him.
Well, can we finish it first, and then we'll explain,
Yeah,
and then
let's finish. Let's finish the battle.
not
Well,
battle.
the battle's pretty much done. I'm just gonna go ahead and take over exposition for this part. As you explain to the guard that you're the ones hired to discover what was happening with the villagers got missing, you tell them that the nearby mountain was where they were being held, and unfortunately, everything collapsed on it. He goes off to find his superior officer, who actually has to wake him. He has to go to his house, like, "Sir, we got some news. We gotta tell you this." And the garrison, about 6 armed guards, including the head captain of the garrison, which is like the police unit in a sense,
Yeah.
asks you two to escort them to where the mountain was, and or where in the mountain it was. And sure enough, by about noon, when you guys get there, they can see that the mountain clearly has caved in at some point, and the body of the spider drow woman is still there. It's still crumpled up, and you can still see, like, just like I said, a couple of her legs are still are visible from within the rubble, and some parts of the temple are, and they're like, the garrison guard leaves. Well, it's going to take us some time to sort through all this, but you're sure all of our missing villagers were inside of here when it happened? You say
Yes.
yes, and there's like, well, this is a tragedy indeed. We were hoping to at least find some of them alive. You can see the look in the leader of the garrison's face. He is personally mourning some of these people. In fact, I'll go ahead and give you an insight check on that. Okay, Max got a 6. Hunter also got a 6. So yeah, you don't know what his relation specifically is with any of these people, but you get the idea he lost somebody here,
Mm.
and he is very upset about that. Well, you did do your job. Unfortunately, you were unable to rescue anybody, so we cannot offer you any bonuses. But if you head back down into the village after the head of the garrison returns with you to the village, as the rest of the garrison is trying to clear out the rubble and find the remaining bodies. But he takes you back to the village to the village chief, and he says, as promised, we said we would give you 100 silver each for completing this task. You would have gotten some gold out of it if you had been able to bring anybody alive, but you guys didn't. So you guys now have 100 silver, which I'm going to go and deduct 20 silver from Max's batch because he needs to buy
Yeah.
some new clothes. He needs to buy a new water skin. He needs to buy some new food, or what do they call that? Rations. So in order to properly re-equip yourself to the level you were at before this mission, it's going to cost you 20 silver.
Okay.
JJ said goodnight. I forgot my charger in the front room.
So essentially, this this encounter is over. There may be some ramifications later on, but for the most part, this session is done. So congratulations, you guys completed your first mission. Not as
Yeah.
stellarly as we all would have hoped, but you did at least get the job done. You defeated the enemy, and you got a little bit of money for it. So I'm just going to ask this real quick, just for the sake of how we want to continue the story. Do you guys want to return back to the head kingdom city? Hold on, let me my lists. I have Bright Star Academy, but I don't actually.
At
Wasn't the
one,
head city called Perry?
Oh yes, that's right. That's the kingdom city is Perry.
at one. So, are we continuing off at where me and Hunter were, or because we're gonna have to figure out a way to include Do into this?
Well, since this particular like encounter is done, you guys. What I'm going to say is
Oh,
basically you
right,
guys go
that
back
was the
into town,
test.
and yeah, you guys are basically going into town, and when you get back, you'll get your next mission, and you want to recruit other people for that next mission. That's where we'll leave that off. So if Winter Miss wants to, or Dio, my
Yeah.
apologies, if he wants to have a character to join you guys in these early missions, we do have his card summoning gnome, which and I'm going to make an interesting point for that for your character, Dio. We made the joke that your character like actually imprisoned his father in a card. Instead, what I want to do is that is like as a type of proof of your power, you're actually able to beat one of your instructors in a fight, and you temporarily, this is a demonstration of his power. You temporarily turn him into one of your summoned
You know,
creatures.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
So yeah, he still graduates from the academy, but he definitely has a kind of a bad boy, out to prove himself reputation. So maybe with the next
Yeah,
mission that we do with these two,
and
he can chip in
he's
on that one.
probably generally younger than both of you guys, so
I'd
I'm not sure
assume
how
me
old.
and Hunter are like 17, 18 during that
Most
mission.
most most graduates go in at I'd say most graduates are 16 to 17 when they leave the academy. So yeah, you would be 16 or 17. You spent 6 years at the academy.
Bruh, y'all failed. Aha.
What?
Not a it's not a complete bad ending, but not the best ending. And just for the sake of making you guys feel bad, there is a one minor contention issue you did not deal with.
What?
Her eggs.
Oh.
I thought they would have been
You
crushed in the rubble.
you assume they were crushed. You do not know for sure.
So there's just gonna be a whole bunch of spiders.
Maybe, but at least for the meantime, like I said, your mission is completed. That will probably have potential ramifications in the near future, but for right now, you get at least one thumbs up.
One thumbs
So,
up.
so yes, I would say maybe as a side thing, if you
I'll
wanted
be
when
right
you
back.
got back into Bright Star. Okay, like the one thing I was gonna say, if you guys wanted to do like one quick bit of shopping when you got back to not Bright Star, but to the Kingdom City of Perry, I was gonna let you guys buy maybe a magical item of your choice because I know Max really wants to get those gauntlets of channeling. Because what those do essentially, if anytime he channels his key, it automatically uh, adds +2 to any key attack he has. So it supercharges all his key attacks.
Are there any void specialist items?
You're not a void ninja yet, dude. Quit doing that. And they wouldn't
So
have
there's
that at this particular place because, like I said, creatures of the void are generally frowned upon, especially in this part of the kingdom. When you go to the other side of the ocean, where you enter the dark lands, they're a little more prevalent over there. So, no, your expertise so far isn't the void. Right now, your expertise, you do have some elemental magics, like you can do basic fire and earth and water, but your specialty is wind. Because your wind ability allows you to increase your speed and also allows you to increase the damage of your projectile attacks, which your dude is apparently very fond of projectile attacks. So, yeah. So basically, the game's done, and for those of you who are watching, thank you, and I apologize for the incoherent nature of this. This is still very much a work in progress. Perhaps what we'll have to do is we might have to start a new campaign if we're going to be broadcasting all of this. So we might
I
have to
mean,
have you guys create
this is
whole new sets of characters and start a whole new adventure because
we could,
we can still do the Baven missions if anyone was interested.
yeah, and also like the Lord Kale stuff. We could just say that wasn't that hasn't happened yet, or whatever. That was just a
Yeah,
test run. This
yeah.
is
What
all
happens?
trying to
Yeah,
flesh
the
out.
story with Lord Kale right now, I'm going to say is at least a year or 2 years into the future from the setting that we are right now because the
Chronicler.
yeah. For me, let me explain this real quick. What happened? I'm not explaining this for our viewers here, which is a funny thing
We
for me to
have
say. The one can hope the second story that we started takes place, as I was saying, 2 years in the future, and it involves Hunter's character who had undergone a very dramatic transformation. Something had happened which we haven't, in our story, we haven't gotten to yet, but in his story, he was essentially killed during a mission, but then he was actually brought back to life through the void. Which the void, as it kind of sounds like, is just like is the emptiness. It's the space between the different realms. So he was lost in the void, and this Lord Kale, who is a vampire noble, a pureblood, managed to bring him out and make him in kind of an enslaved or an indentured servant. He's dangling him on a string, basically saying, "It's like I'm the only one who can make you fully mortal again, but you got to do what I say." But the other flip side is Dio's character is a what we call a chronicler, which is basically an historian of sorts. They're very high in wizarding and stuff like that, but their primary duty is to travel the lands and record the history of the world. So Dio's character just arrived in what is known as the Shadowlands, which is essentially the eastern end of the planet, where, as the name implies, there's lots of storm clouds, lots of darkness, very little sunlight gets through. All of the more evil, if you want to put it that way, or darkness sort of creatures exist on this side. This is also where the the Dire Mountain is, and the Dire Mountain, in a sense, if you understand what Wakanda from the Marvel
Marvel.
universe is, how they have that giant meteorite of vibranium underneath that mountain. In this case, it's not vibranium. It's literally a dark ore that siphons energy off of other things. So it's almost like vampire metal in a sense. And
What has
the
happened while I
people,
was gone?
nothing. I was just explaining things to our audience, believe it or not,
Mm.
trying to get them up to speed as to where we are with all the different storylines and what's going on right
I
now.
need to be up to speed with this too, because I have no idea
Yeah,
what's going on
I
with
think
them.
I think for I think for broadcasting purposes, we're done unless people want to come in and stick around for our brainstorming session,
I mean,
which
we're not
I
really
don't care.
streaming, we're recording.
Well,
I guess
either or. I mean, like I said, right now we're going to be brainstorming, so the session is over. So if you want to keep recording for the brainstorming, I don't care. If not,
I
ciao,
think we're
babies.
just gonna do this for stuff. So I'm gonna let you guys say peace to the audience, and then I'm gonna do my outro. So Hunter, you go first.
Bye, bitch.
No, Hunter, you go first. Is he gone? He's gone.
Hmm.
Bob, you go first.
All
I had
right.
my mic
Well,
muted on
I
accident.
Okay.
well, thank you all for watching our very first performance here. We understand we got a lot of things to work through, and we hope you enjoy yourselves as we make fools of ourselves. And hope to see you next time. And I would apologize for the behavior of my cohorts, but that's not going to do
AKA
anything.
Dio. All right, Hunter, you're
AKA
up.
all of you, quite frankly. So on that
Alright,
note,
later, gamers.
ciao, babies.
And
Later, gamers.
Dio, you're up. No naughties, Dio. Just
Hey, bruh, I'ma head out. I gotta go take a nap because I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. I'm not having a good day.
nice outro from Dio. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today's little D&D type
Don't do it.
thing. If you guys
Don't do
like,
it.
I'm not gonna do it, okay? If you guys like this kind of video, let me know. I will try to figure out editing to get rid of like certain stuff to not make it super long. But obviously, let me know if you like the longer content or if you want me to shorten it up a little bit, like my Dokkan videos. But yeah. Other than that, I like how everyone's just staring at their camera. Other than that, I'm gonna head out and peace.